Welcome to this episode of BizJet TV. My name is Fabrizio, Poli. Today we're going to be talking about private jet maintenance programs. Now, this is one of you reached out, well, more than one of you reached out and asked me, can you talk about maintenance programs? Now, this is something really interesting. Now, when you buy a private jet, you always have to have in your spreadsheet for the management of the aircraft, you have to have something which is called the engine reserves and the maintenance reserves. And that is usually a cost per hour, which can be like $800 an hour or whatever it may be, depending on the aircraft and the age of your aircraft. Now, what does that mean? That means that for every hour you fly, you're going to put $800 away for the maintenance that will be due later on. And there's the maintenance on the engines, the APU, the airframe, there's the maintenance on the avionics. These are all things that need to be done. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to be caught out suddenly with $1 million bill. So you want to be putting that money away every flight hour in order to have that money ready for your maintenance program. Whether you own a private jet or you're operating jets as a charter business, you need to be planning that. So that's really, really important. Now, on the maintenance programs, there's different maintenance programs out there. There's, for example, Rolls-Royce Corporate Care, which is for those aircraft that have Rolls-Royce engines. That's a very good program. You've got JSSI, which not only covers engines and APU, but also airframe. Honeywell do some special maintenance programs for their avionics and that. So depending on the type of airplane you have, there are different maintenance programs. And also Dassault have Falcon Care, which covers everything. And if you have Falcon Care on your Falcon, it helps the airplane maintain a higher value on the market when you have to resell it. Now, the maintenance programs basically cover three things. First, you've got the preventative maintenance. Then you've got the scheduled maintenance, and that's scheduled maintenance is calendar and also by hours. So depending on what aircraft you're operating, there are certain things that need to be done every so many months or so many years, and there are things that have to be done after so many hours. So that's the second thing. And then the third is the unscheduled maintenance. Things like, you get a bird strike or something goes wrong that wasn't planned in that. So what I find important with the private jet is the preventative. So if you're doing the scheduled and you're doing preventative maintenance and you've got good pilots, a good engineer to look after the airplane, you will have a lot less unscheduled events. But also, I think it's important that you do put your airplane on a maintenance program. So if you're operating a Dassault, for example, you want to put it on Falcon Care. But I would also calculate how much that costs. I was talking to a gentleman the other week about his Challenger 300, and they don't have it on any programs. And the airplane's, I think, 10, 12 years old at the moment, and they don't have it on any programs. And anytime something crops up, they pay for it. Because some of these programs are like an insurance policy, so you're paying so much per hour or you're paying so much per month into the program, and then if something does go wrong, even unscheduled maintenance, they will cover the costs of labor and parts, shipping the parts, etc., etc. So it's a bit of an insurance policy. So depending on your situation, depending on the aircraft, again, I can only give general information here on BizJet TV, but certainly looking into the maintenance program of an airplane before you buy an airplane is important. Looking at what it has had done to it so far, what type of programs it's been on, how the aircraft has benefited from being on these programs, and then planning on once you acquire the jet, if you want to continue these programs or not. So this is all stuff that needs to be considered when you're buying an aircraft, the maintenance program. But overall, I would say it's always the best idea is a best solution is to have your airplane on a maintenance program that covers not only the engines, the APU, but also the other parts of the aircraft, because it's just an insurance policy at the end of the day, and also in some of these programs you've got a monitoring system as well, where the aircraft is constantly monitored by the manufacturer. I mean, Gulfstream do this with their new aircraft, Falcon Care do it, Dassault do it through Falcon Care, where the aircraft's constantly monitored, and that way they can spot something that may be developing in the engines or whatever it may be. And what they're doing with a lot of these new airplanes, they're putting a lot of sensors on the airplane. So this way, by monitoring the aircraft, they can see certain things coming, and so they can do the preventative maintenance to stop the unscheduled stuff from happening. And so that's, at the end of the day, as I always say to people, you're not buying a jet, you're buying time. So these are all things which help to keep that airplane flying, keep that business tool of yours flying you from A to B, or flying people from places to see you, to do business. It's all about time, it's all about flexibility, it's all about speed. And the maintenance program is part of the management of the aircraft, which will help that airplane keep being that active business tool for you and your team. Now, if you haven't in this channel before. I encourage you to subscribe. Lots of content here, over 400 videos. And also check this recent interview I did with Laura Langmeyer. She's been flying around in the King Air and using that as a business tool. And she talks about her family and that. It's very, very interesting. So check this video out. And that's all from Fabrizio Poli on BizJet TV. And I'll see you on the next one.